Hey, everyone. It's good to see everybody. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Hopefully everybody had a really good holiday. Some are still celebrating their holiday, but hopefully everybody has a really good, safe New Year as we continue to go forward here. So look forward to ringing in 2025 here coming up. With that, open up for questions.
DJ, this is the longest layoff I believe you've had going into a bowl game. How do you kind of approach that? And also, had so much success in bowl games besides scouting and knowing the opposition and kind of the schematics. What do you think have been pillars to your success so far?
Well, I think you just have to break the bowl prep down into a few categories. One, it's a celebration of 2024. So you're preparing for an elite opponent, right, from the ACC and Virginia Tech. Two, you want to continue to get other guys better, so it's an extension of spring ball. It's a pre-spring ball, so you want to be able to bring your floor of your program up, and you want to see who's really going to help you next year as you continue to go as of right now. And then there's some other things you just want to continue to get better at fundamentally and technically. It's definitely a little bit different. It's a little bit similar to what we did when we played on January 1st when we played Auburn in the Outback Bowl. That's what it was called back then. So it's only a 2-day difference with that little bit of holiday break in between. But our guys came back a few days ago from the holiday break. They've been really consistent in the way they've worked. And I think there is no secret to anything. You're always looking to be 1-0. But I just think, like a lot of teams out there, our team really likes to play football. And they want to continue to play football as long as they can in 2024. And it'll be 2025 when we do play. But I think they just love playing football and love getting better. And when you have a team like that, that makes it the preparation a lot, I can't say easier, it just makes it a lot more enjoyable to be around each other, where they take it very seriously. It's a chance for us to be a champion and be 1-0 and send the seniors out in the right way. So I know everybody in the country is trying to do that too in the bowl prep, and you just got to find a way to get your margins, in your preparation to be a little bit better than the opponent.
How do you look at how you guys have done in the transfer portal with outgoing and ingoing players? I think you brought in 15 at this point. How do you assess where things are at right now?
Yeah, I really like where we're at. I really like the high school class that we signed that'll be here very soon, a lot of them. I really like our portal class that we signed. And, you're signing based off need, competition, depth. And then, as I tell our football team, I've said this a long time ago as a head coach, and you start to look at roster management, your job is to continue to elevate the roster for every particular year. Whether that was high school recruiting 5-6 years ago, I told our team 10 years ago, my job is to replace everybody with a better version of you that's a younger version of you. It's your job to keep your job. And that's how competition works. And you have a head start if you're in the program and you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're working really hard. You're committed to the process. And then you bring some other guys in here who have been playing college football for a long time. It elevates the competition within the room, and I think that's really healthy, especially as we get to the 105 and you start looking at each position only having a concrete number of players in that room. Everybody in that room's got to be able to help you if you happen to get to them, no matter who they are, young player, older player, transfer, guy that's been in the program. But I think our players have embraced that really well. The reason we have a really good portal class is because our players on our team. I mean, nothing shows the program more than the players you have on the team, and we're using them as hosts and using them on official visits, and our players embrace change and they embrace competition and they embrace this team getting better. And that's what I like about this football team and coaching these guys, because I know that's not that way all over the country. You bring in somebody takes that personal and they leave. Transparent conversations are really, really critical. And no matter where anybody goes, there's always going to be competition. Nobody can ever lie to somebody and say there's not going to be competition. There's always going to be competition around you if you're doing your job. And, we're very transparent to the portal players. We're very transparent to the high school players and the players we have on our football team. But if everybody's team Gophers, it doesn't matter. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to make this team better. And I appreciate that about our players.
Do you feel the prospect, PJ, of revenue share is helping you with the quality of this class too, maybe evening things out more?
Yeah, I don't know if evening out is the right word, Dave. I think that, I don't think parity is the right word either. I still think that, when you have the salary cap, that's one thing, but then there is no limit to the NIL right now. And I think that's what sets some people apart, is they can have around the same type of salary cap. That's fine. They can distribute that how they want to distribute that amongst the athletic department, and they can highlight what sports they want to highlight. But then the NIL, that's the thing that separates it from it being equal, even, parity. But I think that you're starting to see us being able to get a high-quality athlete, retain a high-quality athlete and a student athlete that we can. And, 4 years ago when we lose a player and we have nothing, there's nothing you can do about it. You pat him on the back and shoot, you'll drive him there because it's a better opportunity for him. And I don't blame him. But now when you're in the talk and you're in the mix, players are, talking between however many thousands of dollars, and do you really want to make that move? Do you not? Where are you in the depth chart? Where are you in the future? And you're having open, honest communication with them. But I think that it definitely helps, Dave. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say it doesn't help. It helps. And, the SEC and the Big Ten have major TV contracts that allow that money to be real, allow that money to be there. Our NIL and collective with Dinkytown athletes, that money's there. It's real. And I can't say that for everybody around the country. A lot of stories are coming out from different people. But here at the University of Minnesota, it's real. And really proud of our administration for that, really thankful for that. Thank you for Dinkytown athletes of making sure that it's all real. And I think that's pretty cool.
Is there a substantial number of opt-outs, seniors that aren't going to be playing the bowl game?
Oh, you're going to hate the response to this the question, Randy. I really appreciate you asking, but the injury report is just like the availability report will be out 2 hours before kickoff.
Coach,
Thanks for asking.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Say about the character of Max, your quarterback, who forgoes his preparation for his pro career to play with his guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it's a preparation for his pro career. I think this is the beginning of his pro career. Right. Max Brosmer is a player who loves playing football, period. The more he plays, the more people are going to fall in love with him. He's a player that has to keep playing. And as he keeps playing, people are going to love watching him play football. It is a lot of fun for a coach who's been around the game a long time to watch a student athlete like that embrace the game the way he embraces it. I don't know if I've ever watched a student athlete love the game more in the preparation process. I'm looking at Antoine Winfield Jr. with a big smile on his face right here, and you look at Tyler Nubin and the way he played the game, and I can go on, but enjoying the actual process and dedicating hours and hours and hours a day to the grind of it and loving that. We're walking off the field right now, and he wants to get this play installed, and we're kind of saying, well, maybe. And so to kind of sway the votes, he's got the tight ends out there, and he's teaching them the route concept exactly the way it needs to go, because when we practice it tomorrow, it's make or break, but he wants it in. And it's got to go really well for it to go in tomorrow. And that was the deal. So he's out there making sure that it goes the way it needs to go. That's the type of leader he is. I think he's going to play his way into not only NFL camps and being drafted and all that other stuff, but he's going to be around that league for a long time because he's going to make himself that way. And there was no surprise when he said he was going to play. Everybody's got to make decisions for themselves, and I understand that. And that doesn't mean if you don't love football, and if you do love football. Speaking just for Max, though, the more he plays, the more people are going to fall in love with him. And those are the reports I keep getting back from people is the more he plays, we just love him.
Maybe something about your culture, though, where you want to stay with his teammates. And there's not a right or wrong here, but maybe saying something about your culture that he's here for 1 year and he still wants to stay with the guys.
Well, the culture starts with the people. It starts with the players, period. You can't have a culture without the players. And I think that's what's really unique about here is, we talked about the bowl prep needs to be really fun. Well, fun's earned. And the F for that is for each other. It has to be for each other. It can't be for anybody else. It's got to be for each other. And the players are out there doing the work. The players are out there practicing. The players are out there sacrificing. And it's got to be a lot of fun for them in the process. And I think Garrett Chernoff and our staff do a really good job of making the bowl experience, to your question, Dave, a lot of fun to be in. They want to be in bowl prep. Last night we took them to a movie. It sounds crazy. I know they can go get their own movie ticket these days and go to their own movie, but there's something about renting out the theater, being around each other, having popcorn, having snacks, and watching a movie. I think it just says a lot about the connection of this team from the staff down to the players and back up. I think that's really, really fun to see. And I know everybody's really excited to get on that airplane and head to Charlotte and see Danny Morrison and his staff and go out there and meet all the Dukes Mayo people as well.
PG, is there any one episode about Max that you feel defines what he's done here? That you'll remember?
I think he's the best processor I've ever been around. And I think I've said that, and I think it's well documented. I'm so consistent in that statement because I don't think I've been around a processor like that. And I think that you've watched you watch his learning process happen before your eyes. You watch the first half of the North Carolina game. Second half's completely different. First half of the season is completely different than the second half of the season. first half of a game, completely different in the second. He just continues to get better as the game goes on. And, the more people throw at him, the more he can keep processing and make adjustments and make changes. But to take all the information that he's been able to get, it's probably the most complex offense we've ever had in the 12 years of me being a head football coach, and he processes it like it's the easiest. And I never take that for granted. The great thing about it is our quarterbacks now have a chance to learn from him, attach at the hip, and that's the legacy he's going to leave. We only had him for 11 months, 12 months, but the legacy he's going to leave is what he passed down in terms of the process, the preparation to the other guys. And I think that's the ultimate definition of a leader, is what you're passing down that other people are going to use to make the team and themselves better.
You guys have had quite the win streak with these bowl games in general since 2015. If you win the Mayo Bowl, are you prepared to have a jar of mayonnaise dumped on your head for the tradition?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what's so great about college football. I know everybody wants to see that for coaches, period. I think it's one of the quirky, really cool traditions with the Mayo dumping on the coach's head. I think everybody has done it a little bit differently. But I think both head coaches are really open to that, because that's what makes college football really, really special. Whether it's, Pop-Tarts or Mayo or, Cheez-Its coming out of the Gatorade or the Powerade tub. I mean, that's just what makes it a little bit unique and a lot of fun. Again, this whole bowl prep's got to be a lot of fun. It's over basically a month and some change until you play again from your last game. And that's a long time when you're playing every single week in season. So there's got to be a lot of fun things that go into it. And, yeah, I'm still down to make it a double if it happens.
Obviously, one or two more. When you look at Anthony Smith, what have you seen in his development on the field over the second half of the season?
Yeah, just incredible maturity. I think that's one thing for him, when doing what you have to do becomes doing what you really want to do. I think he's really got a feel for the defense, how he fits in the defense. We move him around so much that I think early, that was a learning process for him, from the outside to the inside to nose to three technique, whether it was a first or second down package or third down packages. But he's grown a ton mentally, physically, and emotionally. But the maturity level has gone through the roof. He knows why in everything that he's doing. He's able to play a little bit faster. And he's so versatile. I mean, I don't think I've ever had a guy that big with that versatility at 6'6", 295 pounds, and he can do a lot of different things. We were all joking around yesterday as a team, just talking basketball, and everybody wants to talk basketball. All the football players want to talk basketball. I'm sure all the basketball players want to talk football. And they were all kind of joking around, and they said, all right, who'd be the first pick? And Anthony, bang, came out of everybody's mouth really quick. So I know that made him feel pretty good, I'm sure, even though he probably didn't hear it. He now heard it now. But I think just his versatility and his maturity has gone through the roof.
Obviously, mission one, get into the Mayo bath, but with the number of impact players that are graduating this year, are you looking at the bowl as an opportunity to mix in some young guys that need game reps in advance of next year?
Absolutely. I mean, you're always looking for that opportunity. I'll take a guy, for instance, like Mason Carrier. Mason Carrier is a true freshman. He's a really good player, hasn't played all year. But there's some special teams that we can use him and get him experience. So next year, when we really need him to have a bigger role, he's at least played in a game against an ACC opponent. And here we go. Obviously, other players, you're not just going to – it's not an experiment. You got about a month and a half or month and a week to really know who's in, know who's not going to play, know who's hurt, who had surgery. And then you start to look who left the program, who transferred. And then you start to build your roster and your game plan accordingly. That's why you take some time in those first week and a half to almost 2 weeks. It's all Minnesota and Minnesota. There isn't a game plan that we're practicing against Virginia Tech or our opponent. It's all us, because that's when guys are entering the portal a little bit faster. That's when the mass exodus are happening. You have a better feel come that third week of who's really going to be in, who isn't. Just because a guy opts out doesn't necessarily mean he's not going to play. Or for the ops into the NFL doesn't mean he's not going to play. So I think, that's you got to look at all those things and then add who the next guys are, and it all comes down to who's earned it. That's one thing that we'll always keep in this program. I want to make sure I make that very clear, that we're not just experimenting and throwing guys out because you're the next guy. We'll change a personnel grouping if you're the next guy and you're not ready to play or you haven't earned the chance to play. These guys on this team are earning everything they get, and the bowl game is going to be a great reward for them, especially a lot of the young guys that are going to be able to get some reps because they've earned it and they're the next guy as well.
BJ, are there any of the incoming transfer players accompanying the team to the bowl game to get acclimated?
No, last year we had a few. This year we didn't. I don't think there was a bigger need. Rules have kind of changed, and some certain things that kind of lock players in. That's why we did that last year. But this year, no, nobody will really accompany us to Charlotte, and we look forward to them joining us here in the first 2 weeks of January once those get done. And once we get back from the Dukes Mayo Bowl, though, I mean, we're hitting the ground running recruiting. I mean, literally, we come back after the game, and we'll have an official visit, roll right into it. So it's the world of college football. Just keep on moving.
How much more do you know about Virginia Tech now than maybe when the announcement was, and how do you keep getting ready for that?
Yeah, I mean, you still don't know everything. I think when you watch bowl games on TV, I think that when you watch them, you're sitting there going, wow, there's a lot of things that are happening that look way easier than they should be happening. There's a lot of guys playing that maybe didn't expect they were going to play. Schematics change. What a team looked like in November is very different than what they look like in January, and that is not a negative. It's just you're preparing for ghosts. You got to have a plan for every single plan, and then have a plan when that plan isn't that plan. A lot of contingency plans going on here, but you got to take care of the ball and get takeaways. You got to tackle well and break tackles, and you got to create explosive plays and eliminate the explosive plays, no matter who's on the field. But that's what makes bowl games really unique. You really, truly don't know what you're preparing for. And Virginia Tech back to us. I mean, that's what's going to make it a great game. And both teams have that type of parity where you probably don't know what's really coming once the ball gets kicked off.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Appreciate everybody. Thanks for coming here. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Brother Boat Sky, Michael Gophers. Thanks. Yep.
I think we'll have Greg Harbaugh up.
Thanks, everybody.